Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. We are moving into Mark chapter 2 today, and so let me go ahead and pick it up. Mark chapter 2, verse 1. A few days later, when Jesus again entered Capernaum, the people heard that He had come home. They gathered in such large numbers that there was no room left, not even outside the door, and He preached the word to them. Some men came, bringing to Him a paralyzed man, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get him to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it, and then lowered the mat the man was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, He said to the paralyzed man, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Now, the story goes on, and we'll talk about that later. But what I want to focus on is when Jesus saw their faith. A couple things with this. One, Jesus responded to the faith of the men, not just the faith of the paralyzed man. We don't know about his faith, actually. Mark never tells us. Jesus never highlights the faith of the man. The faith that gets highlighted is that of those who are bringing the man to Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, He responded. And so just thinking about that, does Jesus see my faith on behalf of someone else? And the story is very encouraging that we would keep active in exercising faith kind of on behalf of others, that we would bring people to Jesus, just as these men did. They cared deeply for their friend. They knew that Jesus was his only hope, and so they did everything in their power to bring that man to Jesus, even digging a hole through a roof in spite of the crowds to get him in front of Jesus. They knew Jesus was his only hope. And that's kind of encouraging. That's challenging for me to recognize, for us to recognize, yes, Jesus is the only hope for the salvation of our friends, of our family members. And so to stay faithful and to stay encouraged in bringing people to Jesus, friends, family, neighbors, bring them to Jesus. Jesus saw their faith and He responded and spoke forgiveness to the man. The second thing that I want to just pause on for a moment, Jesus saw their faith. Is our faith visible? To Jesus, to others. Yes, Jesus can see the heart, but what's being emphasized here is the outward actions that their faith created. The outward actions of carrying the man up, lowering him through the roof, outward actions made their faith visible. And so that's kind of a fresh challenge. Is my faith visible? Your faith visible? What are the outward actions that make our faith visible? I want to have not just an internal faith, but actually a visible faith that Jesus can see, that others can see. The disciples certainly saw the faith of these men. And so wherever you find yourself scattered today, that's kind of the challenge, to have a faith that's visible, and then especially, to be faithful in bringing others to Jesus as we recognize that Jesus is their only hope. And so have the faith on their behalf to get them in front of Jesus. And Jesus saw not the faith of the paralyzed man. Jesus saw the faith of the friends, and He responded, "Your sins are forgiven." Well, we'll talk more about this next session, but have a great day, and may your faith be visible, especially on behalf of others. God bless.